Hi and welcome. This is Kevin Doherty with buildyourdreampractice.com, and you are here with me on this video called The 4 Main Networks You Need to Build to Increase Your Net Worth and Reduce Business Stress. Now, this is a very important topic that I coach on all the time because, speaking from my own experience, once you really get what I'm about to share in place, it makes your life a million times easier in terms of how you run your business, creating the kind of lifestyle that you really want. And through the course of this video, I'm going to keep it pretty short, but I am going to expose some of the biggest mistakes business owners make, practice owners make, that makes their life, their business, so much more stressful, so much more difficult than it really needs to be. So when you understand network building in the context of your business, you become free, you become empowered, you reduce your stress. That's what we want to see happen. So if you've oftentimes felt like your business is a roller coaster ride full of ups and downs, money feels like an eternal quandary to you in terms of how to make the amount that you really want or need, or it just feels like a limiting factor in your life, what I'm about to share should be very helpful for you and very important for your future. Okay, so Robert Kiyosaki has a quote that goes like this: "The richest people in the world build networks. Everyone else is trained to look for work." And you can definitely adapt that quote to being a business owner, because if you don't build networks, you're going to be trained to constantly look for clients and to be a little bit desperate or anxious about the way you go about filling your schedule. And I know firsthand from my experience building my practice, that's a pretty painful way to go, and you don't have much peace of mind if you're always at least somewhat worried about where your next client is coming from. You want stability and you want security for your financial future, right? So that really comes from understanding how to build networks into what you do and into your business. Another way of saying this is that the size of your network will determine the size of your net worth. Very true. So we want to start uh, getting you thinking in this direction of building your networks. And that really is the basis of your freedom, your success in business. One of the biggest mistakes business owners make is that they don't focus nearly enough on building out their networks. And instead, what happens is they rely on word of mouth and they end up playing the waiting game for their client list to grow. Have you been in that place where you're just kind of keeping your fingers crossed, more referrals will come in, and you kind of feel like you're on the sidelines being passive or just waiting for something good to happen? And have you noticed that that's pretty stressful and not very much fun in your business? We want to definitely get a solution in place for that quickly, because that is, in my experience, one of the greatest causes of burnout, is that very frustrating feeling of waiting around. Things are moving too slowly. You're not making the money that you want, and everything just feels foundationally groundless, very unstable. And you don't really get to enjoy the full passion that you have for your work, for your services, because you're playing this waiting game. So we want to help you overcome that as quickly as possible. Okay, so with that said, there are 4 networks you should be proactively building. Let's go through them quickly. These are all online based, and in the internet age, this is a lot of where your focus should be shifting to. If you're still relying on kind of an old school approach of not utilizing your website effectively, or just relying on word of mouth or offline advertising of some sort, that's going to be a very slow, painful way to go, especially as we continue to evolve in the internet age. Everything is quickly moving more and more in the direction that I'm sharing with you here in this video. Number one, your current client or patient database. This is obvious that is one of the primary networks that you're building out over time, is your client database. Now the question is, how good are you at taking care of this database, of staying in touch with this database, re-engaging them, sharing constant communication with them, constant value, building goodwill and trust? Even if somebody hasn't been in your practice for 2 years, are you still in touch with them? Are you still sharing value? That is a huge factor in your success, and I don't want you to overlook it, okay? Number 2, your email list. Are you proactively building an engaged email list right now? Really critical step, in my opinion. At the very least, your clients should be on an email, a central email database where you can stay in touch with them with push button needs. ease, but you essentially want everybody and anybody who's ever expressed any form of interest in your work whatsoever on your email list. Big topic. I could do an entire training video on this, and in fact, I have in the context of my coaching programs, but I want you thinking in this direction. Make sure that as a business owner, you are proactively building an engaged email list. Number 3 is your social media audience. This is another network that has now become, whether you like it or not, pretty much integral to your success. And I don't recommend that you're out there trying to do 8 different platforms on social media. I still believe having a solid Facebook fan page is the best asset in terms of your online audience for social media. So at the bare minimum, you want a fan page. You want to make sure that you are proactively building out that fan page, ideally into the hundreds or into the thousands of people. And number 4, your website visitors. Okay, so you might be asking, how do I see my website visitors as a network of people? Don't I just lose them? Most people do. And the truth of the matter is that very few people will sign up on the first visit to your website. They're not going to just immediately click your online schedule or pick up the phone and call you. You'll lose the vast majority of those people. They'll just go somewhere else. And honestly, that's a huge mistake. You're leaving a lot of money on the table in your practice if you don't have a way to stay in touch with your website visitors. So what is the best way to do that? Well, number 1, capture them on an email list so you can stay in touch with them. Number 2, set up a Facebook targeting pixel, a retargeting pixel, so now you can run Facebook ads to your website visitors. That, going through that step by step, is out of the context of this video. It'll start to go on and on, but you can Google it. You can reach out to me for more information on that if you'd like. It's really not that hard to do, especially if you have a good web designer on your team. But set up your retargeting pixel so that way everybody that visits any page of your website from this point forward, you can stay in touch with them through Facebook ads. And that, at the bare minimum, is something you want to be doing with Facebook advertising, is building out your network of website visitors and running newsfeed ads in a variety of different formats to just stay in touch with those people who visited your site, assuming that a lot of them were interested, but maybe the timing just wasn't right. And maybe 6 months down the road, the stars will align and they're going to be ready to become a patient or client for you. And at that point, if they're still aware of you, they've been seeing your ads and your information in the news feed, they're going to be way more likely to choose you than they would another practitioner. So that's a great example of a built-in network of people that come to know, like, and trust you, and that want to engage with you and potentially do business with you, okay? So these are the big 4 networks. These are all full of people, like I said, they're leads, they're clients, they're people who have raised their hand and said, I'm interested, I want to know more, I'm passionate about what you're doing here, I enjoy your mission, and I like the value that you have to share. Through all of these different contexts, that's what you're doing, is building up as much goodwill and trust, being as generous as you can with them, and just sharing value constantly with this audience, uplifting them, inspiring them, cheerleading them on to live a better life. So you want to start thinking of your business, even if it's just on a local level, like if you're a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, a naturopath, or a therapist, and you're just trying to attract local clients or patients, you still want to have a much broader perception of what you're doing here. Start to think of what you're doing as building culture around your business. Your culture is the community of people that come to appreciate what you do based on your unique talents and values, your mission. And that is very much how business success occurs in the internet age, is you're building culture around your passion and your mission, okay? So let's get you thinking in this direction, building out these 4 networks. The bigger these 4 networks get, you should see a direct correlation with how much revenue you're generating and the level of stability you have within your business. So these 4 networks, as they grow over time into the thousands, you should see absolutely that your business is stabilizing. You're not worried so much about where your next round of clients are coming from, because you now have a built-in network of people who love what you're doing, and those are the people that are sooner or later going to come and see you. And if it gets into the thousands, it's just a numbers game. Of course some of them are going to see you. The tipping point, in my experience, when I work with my clients, it tends to occur when you hit around 1,000 email subscribers and 2,000 Facebook fans. Now that may seem like a pretty ambitious goal right now, but I assure you it's not that hard to do this really at all, especially if you're willing to pay Facebook or Google to build your audience for you and do it a lot faster than you could do it through free methods. But really, it's good to have a combination of ways of doing this. But if this seems ambitious to you, just start to take baby steps. Start moving in this direction every day, doing everything you can, and you will see a snowball effect where your audience starts to grow a lot faster just by virtue of it getting bigger. The bigger it gets, the faster it should be growing by virtue of virality, people sharing your stuff, and just having more leverage to build the audience even bigger through ads and whatnot. So how do you do this? How do you build these networks? And I'm sure that's your next question as well. That all sounds great. How do I do this though? And I want you to realize this is a skill set that is the most lucrative skill set as a business owner. This is where money is made in business. And if it feels a little weird for me to say that, or you're not comfortable with the money topic, I hope I can shift you out of that, because money is the lifeblood of your business. And if you're not making enough money, you don't have strong cash flow in your business, your ability to serve others will be greatly compromised. Your ability to give your family the lifestyle that you really want will also be greatly compromised. I see a lot of people in the Facebook newsfeed, holistic practitioners and healers, saying, and I've seen them post on my ads even sometimes, like, wow, this guy really just wants us to make money. How greedy. And I'm like, well, is that mentality serving you? Because yeah, I do want you to make money. That's what I'm here to do, is help you become financially way more empowered, because I see that as a tremendous service to offer you. And the better you get at this, the more money you're making, the more service you're going to be to people, the bigger of an impact you're going to make. So to me, it's a win-win, and it's a mandatory component of doing business, that you have to think like a real entrepreneur, and you don't have to be greedy, but you do have to say to yourself, okay, when I wake up in the morning, how am I going to increase my revenue? That's a really strong question to ask, very positive. And you do that through building networks. By doing this, you get to serve more people. You get to make a much more profound impact in the world. So let's talk briefly about how to do this. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, if you haven't watched my Double Your Practice in 90 Days webinar, do that now. Go ahead, and you can watch the rest of this, of course, but go to buildyourdreampractice.com. Scroll about halfway down the page, and you'll see a link there to register for a free webinar that I have that is all about building your practice as quickly as possible. So that webinar goes into a little bit more detail than what I'm able to share here today. Definitely watch that, and it should be very helpful for you, okay? Okay, but the way that I do this is as follows. You have your website as the hub of everything that you do to market your practice and build your business. Everything you're doing to market centers around your website. It filters back through your website. And then we have these promotional spokes that generate out of your website. And all of these are meant to get you more website traffic, get you more email subscribers, more social media fans, and whatnot. So let's cover a few of those quickly. My favorite right now, definitely online advertising. It's the fastest way to build your networks, to build your audience. And in particular, I really like Facebook ads right now, because they are quite a bit cheaper than Google AdWords, and definitely way cheaper and way more effective and targeted than offline ads, display ads, things like this. Next, we have SEO, or search engine optimization. So that's getting your website ranked to the top of Google for a variety of keywords. And I say a variety of keywords because a lot of people come to me and they say, well, Kevin, I know you coach on SEO, but I'm already at the top of Google. And I'll ask them, okay, for what? What are you at the top of Google for? And they'll give me like one keyword that they're at the top of Google for. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. That's great. But do you realize there are probably about 100 to 200 keywords that you're not at the top of Google for, that you could definitely be ranking for, that are maybe not as important as your primary keyword, but they make a huge difference over time. So realize when I talk about SEO, it's not just one or two keywords. It's blanketing Google across all kinds of keywords with any sort of relevant search topic that would get people in your door. So this is a big topic. I coach a lot on this because I want you to have control over your front-end marketing. And generally, I'm not a huge fan of you spending all kinds of money to an SEO company to have them control your search engine optimization. Generally, I see that's not very successful. It leads to a lot of disappointment. And there are just certain skills you want to have control over on the front end of your business. You want to be in control of the visibility you have, how many people are aware of your work. SEO, you don't need to be a master at it, but you certainly should be proficient in it enough to know how to dominate local searches. And it's not that hard to do, but it is a skill that requires some training, some cultivating. Blogging and SEO kind of go hand in hand for me, but blogging is another content creation strategy that gives you a lot of authority status. It builds authority in the algorithm of Google. So Google ranks sites that have a lot of content on them, ranks those sites well. And yeah, there are lots and lots of advantages to being a fairly prolific blogger. I recommend a couple times a month, just getting on a content creation schedule and writing short blog posts. Now, once again, I don't really recommend doing this unless you learn the specific mechanics of what goes into a blog post that makes it work for your business. A lot of people come to me and they say, well, I tried that and it didn't really do that much. I'm like, well, what did you do? And I'll look at their blog and I'm like, well, yeah, it's obvious. You didn't really learn how blogging works and what goes into it. So it's a big topic. And once again, something that I coach on in a very deep way to get you the best results. Video. YouTube videos, Facebook videos, videos that you send out to your email subscribers. Video is huge right now. Over 54% of all online content is currently video, and it's only going more in that direction. So if you're not willing to use video, you're definitely going to miss out on a very important trend. If you are willing to use video, it's a great way to be innovative and position yourself as one of the go-to experts in your industry. Word of mouth. Now, this is, of course, the thing that most of us rely on, is we kind of ignore a lot of this other stuff that I'm talking about, and we're like, well, I'm just really amazing at what I do, so I just expect the referrals to come pouring in. Sometimes this happens, and we love that, and sometimes it doesn't, and we get really frustrated and concerned when we notice the word of mouth is very inconsistent, it's slow, and it's just not something you want to rely on exclusively as a business owner. It's a great pillar, it's a great spoke, and it should still filter back through your website when you're setting up referral systems, but you want diversity in your marketing. You don't want to rely just on word of mouth because it is the slow and painful path. Social media marketing. So this is just where you're posting on Facebook or Twitter, wherever you use social media. I generally recommend social media marketing in conjunction with Facebook ads because the two are meant to go hand in hand, and your social media content and marketing in general will always be more effective if you're willing to amplify it with advertising. And Facebook is a pay-to-play platform now. They want you paying to get visibility, and you can certainly raise a fuss about that and be upset about it. I know a lot of people are, but as a business owner, be smart, think strategically, and be willing to play that game a little bit because right now you have a lot of opportunity to get in front of people for very cheap using the Facebook Ad Manager. Networking and speaking, of course, are other ways, more traditional ways of building out your networks, joining networking groups, setting up speaking gigs. But remember, all of this filters back through your website. On your website, you want to capture emails, you want to pixel people so you can run ads to them on Facebook, and you want to build your social media audience. So make sure social media is integrated into your website seamlessly, really effectively. And in a nutshell, this is how we build your networks, okay? It's going to be a combination of these strategies. The most ambitious practitioners that I work with are generally doing just about all of this. Maybe at some point they transition out of speaking and networking, but they're doing a lot of the internet marketing. They're doing pretty aggressive paid advertising, reinvesting 5 to 10% of their gross revenue back into online ads, and they're just blowing up the size of their online audience. A lot of my coaching clients, even on a local level, are starting to hit the 3,000 to 7,000 mark on their Facebook fan page and getting a lot of qualified website traffic, a lot of new email subscribers on a daily basis. That's what we want to see happening. Okay, so once again, I hear this all the time from people. I've tried a few of these things, Kevin, and I didn't have much success. I tried Facebook ads. They didn't work for me. I tried to create a blog. It didn't do much for me. I hear this all the time. I've done literally hundreds of strategy sessions with practice owners all over the world, and this is one of the things I hear a lot. So remember this. These are all specific skill sets that require formal training. You can't just randomly throw up a Facebook ad or anything else and expect it to work wonders. This is no different from getting trained to offer your clinical skill set or learning anything like how to be a car mechanic or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Learning how to market is a definitive skill set that you did not get in school, and that's why I do what I do, because that was really painful for me coming out of school to just randomly try stuff, not have any of it systematized, and not really have the skill to do it effectively. I wasted a lot of time, energy, and money and almost gave up, quite honestly, because it was really frustrating. I knew I was good at my modalities, but I couldn't understand why it was so hard to make money and get clients in the door. Now I get it, because you have to build up this skill set of marketing to accompany your clinical skill set. That's the way I see this, okay? When you wake up in the morning, your first priority should be how are you going to build your networks? That's like the first question, hopefully, that goes through your mind. You have much more control over this than how you're going to get new clients. So if you tend to worry about getting clients, please realize that is a no-win game, because ultimately you're not really in control of how many new clients or patients you get. You can't force people to call you. You can't control when people sign up for an appointment. What you can control is your front end marketing. And marketing is a numbers game. As your networks expand, your client base will naturally expand. And especially if you know what you're doing, if you know how to engage those people and you know how to sell and make offers without actually selling at all. That's a lot of what I teach my clients, is how to sell without selling. And you, in my opinion, you have to know that. You have to know how to attract people to what you're doing in a very kind of subtle, magnetic way that hits on different psychological sales factors and gets them in the door without them even knowing that's what you're doing. That's good selling. That's good marketing. We don't want to be cheesy about it. We don't want to be too forceful about it, but we do absolutely want to structure our marketing to attract people in a very strong, compelling way. That's what I help my clients do every single day. And that's what I'm passionate about. For whatever reason, I was endowed with an innate gift at doing this, and I really enjoy it. So, yeah, if you need help with this, I'm here for you. But I want to get your mindset shifted in this direction in this video. I know a lot of you are out there subtly or overtly struggling right now, or just a little stressed out about things and your financial future, the economy, competition in your area. I get it. I've been there. I know what it's like. I've worked with thousands of practitioners. I know that that is not a fun place to be. So trust me, your power is in your networks. That is where you get to set things up on your terms. You get to overcome a lot of the stress, a lot of the hardship, and you have leverage built into your business then. That's what we want, okay? And you can do this even if you're an introvert, even if you don't love working or like having a lot of visibility or a lot of people knowing about you. That's me too in general. I mean, I've grown to love this because I see the value of it, but there's always a way into this. So please don't let limiting beliefs around being seen or around money, please don't let these things stop you from the success that you absolutely can create here. I see it far too often where some of the most amazing, the brightest, the most skilled people are holding themselves back because they think money is a problem, or they think online advertising or marketing in general is kind of beneath them. I want to get you out of that mindset. I want to get you thinking like a real entrepreneur here who takes control of your business, who sets things up on your terms, and where you get to transcend a lot of the conventional struggle and limitation that you see all over the place out there. So if you'd like some help with that, go to buildyourdreampractice.com/apply. Go ahead and schedule a free breakthrough session with one of my awesome practice growth advisors now. So I have a team of coaches that work with me to help me do free calls with people like you who want to spend an hour just getting a lot of clarity on where they're at, where they're stuck, what's holding you back, helping you make some mindset shifts in the right direction, creating an ideal vision for your business that's truly inspiring, and then talking about a plan and where you should be putting your energy to get the right systems, the right solutions in place. So you can go ahead and go to this link, buildyourdreampractice.com/apply. Schedule with one of my team members now. These are amazing people, really amazing coaches, and they're going to help you a lot on this call, get you inspired, get you thinking in the right direction, and helping you understand, once again, where you might be stuck right now, getting a deep level of clarity on what's holding you back. So this is a limited time offer. We can't do this for everybody. We get a lot of applications coming in. So once you go here, you'll be able to schedule. And then on the next page, once you schedule, there is an application that I want you to fill out in depth. Please give me detailed answers. I review all the applications personally, along with my assistant Rachel and my other assistant Samantha. We review these to make sure that we can help and that you're in a place to receive what we have to offer. So if you apply for the call and you qualify, we'll go ahead and do the call with you. One of my coaches will give you a tremendous level of support on that call, okay? So yeah, that's it for now, guys. I hope this has been really helpful. Really enjoy doing these videos and supporting you in whatever way that I can. Please take advantage of this opportunity. We're here for you, and I get it, man. I know what it's like to be in this modern world, in this economy, doing what you're doing and wondering how you're going to pull this off. To me, it really is in the building of these 4 networks. This will solve so many of your headaches if you do it in the right way, and that's what I'm here to help you do. Okay, once again, Kevin Doherty, here to help you in any way that I can. Thanks again, guys, and we'll be in touch. Bye for now.